Hello and welcome to lesson 49 of the Workbook in book A Course in Miracles. And today's headline is God's voice speaks to me all through the day. So exciting. I love the descriptions in the first two paragraphs. It reminded me very much of my own teachings and my own podcast episodes when I talk about my higher self and my ego, and explaining as well in my course Energy Academy to my students to differentiate between those two voices, because they can literally be voices in or around our head that we experience. And it describes here in paragraph 2 that the part that is listening to the voice for God is calm, always at rest and wholly certain. And that has been my experience as well. When I get messages from my higher self, the words or how it sounds is very matter of fact, very calm, very certain, very much this is it, and there is no question to be asked about it. But you just know, when you experience for the first time, you just know that that is a different kind of power and certainty behind it. But then the other voice that we hear much more in our head, obviously, is the one from the ego. And that part is made out of wild illusion, frantic and distraught, but without reality of any kind. And that's how the voice of the ego sounds like. It's scared, it wants to urge you, everything is an emergency and urgent, and it's just really loud and frustrated and in distress. It's never really calm. But for whatever reason, that is a voice that is most of the times in our head, right? But that is a fantastic distinction to start to understand when you are hearing the voice of the ego, or when you are thinking thoughts of the ego, or when are you receiving thoughts from God, from the universe, from your higher self. And then it says as well in paragraph 1, the part of your mind in which truth abides is in constant communication with God, whether you are aware of it or not, which is beautiful, which is the exercise as well for today, to actually connect with that voice, because it's always there, it's always communicating with us. But what is louder and what is bigger and overlaying it is the voice of the ego. It's the other part of our mind that functions in the world and obeys the world's laws. I like that as well, that it touches on that the ego is as well abiding to the world's laws, and that God's voice doesn't. And that means as well that we don't have to abide to the world's laws, which is a very interesting part of the teachings. I did the exercise a few times. I haven't had any particular experiences, but it was still lovely to sit in silence and to go within and to start connecting more with the God's voice again. I had an experience a few weeks ago, I think, in one of the exercises where I had the voice of God or my higher self talking to me. I talked about it in a previous lesson when it actually happened, and it's beautiful. So I hope you have experienced this already many times before, or that you will, because it has some wonderful experience when you know that you're connected to the higher source and that you are able to be in conversation. Now for me, there is a next step, of course, in this exercise, to hear God's voice on a constant basis, on a regular basis, and not just every few weeks or months in a meditation, but to actually tune into it throughout my day and to trust in it and to connect with it, and therefore as well lower the voice of the ego so I can hear God's voice, which is behind it. How did you like the exercise? What did you think about lesson 49? Let me know in the comments. Share with us what you've experienced so far, or what has been your experience so far with hearing God's voice. We would love to hear from you. Until then, I wish you a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are, and I will see you again tomorrow for lesson 50. Until then, I love you and bye bye.